in your package, you should have two power stick. One is the Arduino. The other one is the wrap around with the OLED display. The OLED display is something like the small one. I saw it pointing in my finger. So, and today we are going to this is our 4th week. We have 2 more weeks to go. We are in number 9, okay? And you're going to the first topic, connect OLED SSD1306 and VR diagram. So now, this one have a small pin right beside it, okay? The small pin is like SDA, SCL, VCC, and ground, okay? You can take a look of this. So this is after we set it, is you running the demo from the beginning. See, they can draw the line, okay? This is black and white OLED. So of course you can buy the color one, but the color one is more expensive. But this is black and white, so you can just join a different thing on this OLED. And it's 128 dot times 32 dot. The number of, they call it dot, like the number of display. So you can see that they're displaying the character, scrolling it. Okay, it's how do you using your program to creating this display. Let me displaying this video. So, okay, what it does is a device like this. You don't want to program it at the beginning because it represents a lot of small routine inside. It takes you a long time to writing it. So the people producing this small device, they come with a library. Actually, not only one people creating library, there's a lot of people creating different library. So we have to including the library into our IDE, okay? So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to including the library. Now, let me see this video. This is a 1 minute and 30-second video. So we're telling you how to importing the SSD1306 library. Now, the way to doing it is you going to the tools, going to manage library, and then once it's up, you type in SSD1306. At this moment, it will searching the internet. It's not searching your machine, it is searching the internet for any people to providing SSD1306 library. Now, when the time it come back the result, you have few of them, okay? Different people creating a library, they have their different advantage or disadvantage. I am choosing the one of the very popular one called Adafruit, this guy, okay? You're picking this one, and if you never install, you should display the latest version, which is 2.4.0, and install. So you just click the install, okay? And the library itself is not only is a library, it needs some kind of supporting library. So library on top of other library. And you should install all. So this will installing the control the I/O bus, meaning the control device, the data transfer. I/O mean input and output. FX library meaning the graphic library. Okay, you should install all. Once you install all, you can see it's called installed. See the installed here? All right, so meaning this library is importing from the internet into your Arduino IDE. Now, after this, you will see your directory have few more, like the graphical library, the SSD1306 library, the I/O library. This 3 is just created by the importing process. Sorry, example. And then you can see this SSD1306. You're picking the second one. Okay. The SSD1306, 128 times 32 is the number of dots within that display device. I2C is the inter-circuit communication. It's a protocol name. At this moment, we're just picking this one because we are connecting. Now, this is the program itself. This is the program. So it will using the internally. It will using the A4 and A5 to communicate. So you don't have to worry about the configuration. Just using A4 and A5 according to the diagram. We just present it to you. Okay, so this one, the library using the A4 and A5. Now, once you do this, once you have this, you compile and upload. It's doing the compilation and upload. And you can see the light is blinking and it's uploading. It's longer than usual, longer than all the previous project. The reason it's longer because it's downloading all the library. It's not only like before, it's only a simple one. This one download all the library. You can go for the second one, loading this program. This program is same as before, except it's much smaller. This is the program itself. Once you're getting the samples done, you can go into the second one, the SSD and VR sample. So now, this one, if you compile it and upload it, this is really, really small program. Now, what it does is, it's initializing the OLED, okay? And it will reading the VR from A0, and then it will displaying the number, the VR, the VR, the variable resistor, and then later on you can adding the LDR in the A1 without the adding the LDR. You can still turn the resistor. You can see when the time you turn, the number change. If you all the way turn, it will almost go to 1023 almost, because it's never able to go in extreme correct. So close, and then you turn all the way back to the other side, it will close to 0. So this is how we can using this OLED to displaying whatever in the analog input. Now, okay, I'm going to jump to the next one, okay? So I'm picking this one now. The next one, number 10, is very similar with the previous one before. Forget about LDR. If you're not able to get LDR working, you're just using a VR, and then it either connecting this this LDR to AC or this VR to, okay? So what it does is it will using a Servo. What's a Servo is, where is the Servo? Oh, this guy. If you have a camera, you can see this is the Servo, okay? And Servo have 3 pins. And in your box, you should have one of this. And back to the diagram. And you're adding a Servo, this one, and putting this 3 pin into positive negative, and the data is in the D6. I mean, you leave this alone. I mean, this one is working, then it's continue to work. The only thing is you adding the Servo into your project. Okay. And it's 3 pin. Remember, there's a 3 pin. This 3 pin is following the color. Is the middle one is the positive, The orange is the data. The data is going to D6. The brown one is the brown color is the ground. See the diagram here, all right? So this is one additional device you put it in. Once you put it in, you can get this program here, and when it loads, it will according to either you're using VR or LDR, up to you, okay? And then, and based on you generating a different value into the A1, you see the Servo will change it accordingly. Okay, so the program here is also a very simple one. And you declare a Servo library, and you're attaching the Servo into pin number 6. This is D6. And when you're reading the value from the variable with the analog signal from A0, and the mapping the value, remember the analog is always from 0 to 1023. They mapping this value to the degree, which is 180. And actually, it never able to reaching the 180, but it's close to 180. So it's displaying this into the SSD OLED. So you can see the display here, the displaying the value, and then the writing to this Servo. Now, remember we talking about the PCM before. When you're writing the value from 0 to 180 to this D6 to this D6 pin, it will turning the Servo according to the angle. So this one, it will accepting the value from 0 to 180. It will turning this Servo. Servo cannot never reaching 180, but it's closing to 175 degrees. So you will using this to controlling the Servo angle. And after that, we're delaying for 15 milliseconds and come back to reading the analog value again, and then mapping the value from the analog signal to 180 degrees, display it on the OLED display, and writing to control the Servo. So that's why when the time I cover, you see I'm moving in this PDF file. If you look at it more below, I will doing one by one. The first one is just connecting SSD1306. Forget about all this VR, okay? Just connecting to this one. If you got the program, the demo program working on this one, and then you are worried about to connecting another VR like this or like this, up to you. All right. And then after this, you're connecting the Servo, positive and negative here, and then the D6 into here. I mean, at the beginning, the whole thing looked like very complex, but if you do it one by one, one component at a time, the SSD1306 first, and then adding another VR or LDR on top of whatever you already have. And then on top of it, adding the Servo beside it. And when everything done, it will be something just like this, the one showing in your screen.